Happy Wednesday and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Rocketeer Minute, where each and every day, Monday through Friday, we go over 1 minute of the greatest adventure movie Walt Disney's ever made, the 1991 Joe Johnston-directed feature, The Rocketeer. I'm one of your hosts, Jim O'Kane of TVDads.com.
And I'm Hal Bryan, an airplane nerd from the Experimental Aircraft Association here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And Jim, we've done it again.
We really have.
This is amazing. We have a guest today who does not have perhaps the single biggest role in this film, but
that's arguable. That
is arguable, but it is pivotal and instantly and completely memorable. What a privilege it is to have her with us today. Let me introduce the noblewoman, a talented actress, as you see on screen, in many different levels, and a brilliant artist. We'll talk about her art in just a minute. She's already giggling. So welcome, Lisa Petersen. Thank you so much for being here, Lisa.
Hey.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm laughing because this is so funny to me. I just have like one line, and I'd forgotten about this film.
But you say it twice.
And it is the final. It is almost the second line of the feature. It's said 4 times in the movie, so everybody knows the line.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so glad that.
Now, from what we've been discussing, and I have to, I really have to tell the story about tracking you down and finding you online.
Let's use the term locating you and making contact. Yes. Tracking down,
tracking down just has.
We save that for the lesser guests whom we stalk.
You were stalking me. At least you weren't stalking me. Okay.
Well, I was so excited. We've been talking to so many different people that have been in the movie, and I love your performance in this movie. It's so much fun, and I thought, well, I'll find her. And then I had looked through your IMDb things, and it didn't have much in the way of ways to find you. And you haven't been doing movies lately, and so I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to type it in Google and see what comes up. And then I found Lisa Marie Petersen, who is an artist, and I was looking at the work, and then your picture was in a small corner. I thought that could be her from now. I'm just trying to do that could be her.
What Jim is trying to say.
Yeah.
What Jim's trying to say here is that you look exactly the same.
I
not
don't
a
age
day.
at all.
Well,
I got that.
You look very different without your tiara. The tiara is just a little bit, that would help. But I was like,
now see, Jim, when I see her, I see the tiara. I just see it in any picture. I'm sorry, but it's just there.
I put that tiara on when I do my art, and it
awesome.
Just kind of inspired. Yeah, I still have that tiara.
Oh, awesome! Wow, yeah, it gives it a more regal feeling while you're moving the brushes. But I found your website, your wonderful website, and it had a number, and I called, and you actually answered the phone, which is such a rarity in the 21st century.
Yeah, because people don't answer their phone ever.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
We just text. Exactly.
But it was fate or kismet or something, but you answered the phone, and I had to explain who I was and what I was doing, and I'm sure that you were, ready to. And I don't know how often you get asked about the Rocketeer, which I'm guessing
nobody ever says anything.
Oh my gosh!
Never.
See, you could be on a convention center. You could be center stage at Comic-Con. This is just such a. You should have an action figure. That's how much.
Really?
That's how much. Yeah. I love your role.
I used to be in the custom action figure business, so who knows?
Really? Oh, you guys are so funny. Oh, this is making me laugh. My face is really red right now. Okay, go ahead.
That's excellent. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we let's put you on the spot, maybe even further, Jim, if you're good with this. This minute begins. We're on the set of the film. We're in the middle of the action sequence, and then we close in on you, and you have the line. Do you remember it?
I do.
Would you maybe do it for us? So just once.
Oh, okay. Oh, my prince, would that you drink of my lips as deeply?
Oh my
Oscar
goodness.
time. That was
total goosebumps right here. That was
good?
Fantastic. Big round of applause.
Okay, I'm checking this one off my bucket list.
Yes.
There we go.
Exactly.
Okay. Think of my lips as deeply.
Did you hear that, Jim? She called me her prince.
Yes.
I swear I heard it.
I was her prince.
Okay, Jim, this is it. 2 independent Rocketeer Minute shows from here on out. It's over.
Yeah.
The
35
feud has
years
begun.
later, my voice is much lower, so I probably sound like I'm sitting there smoking a pack of cigarettes. And
No, I honestly recognized it immediately.
Oh, you did? Does it sound
No
the same?
Yes,
Oh, good.
Yes,
yes.
it does,
All
yes.
kidding aside,
Oh.
but
Wow.
you know what amazes me about this? I'm no actor. I mean, I acted through high school and college, and just dabbled enough to know how little I know about it. But it is amazing to me that the first take that have you do, which is not good, on purpose, and it brings the whole scene to a halt, and then we've got to start over with what is it, take 28 or something of this scene. How do you go and do a good job of acting like a bad actor?
Wow.
Was that too deep?
No, it was, I really, my acting days are over, and they have been for many, many years, but I went to college and I studied, theater at University of Southern California, and I did a lot of comedian roles, and I was, sort of like the younger Terry Garr sort of thing. So I often got those ingenue roles where there was funny lines, and I often, found myself doing the, it was something that I felt kind of comfortable with, and I don't even know how to explain why. It's just one line to me. Anybody could do that. It's not a big deal. I don't know what I can tell you beyond that.
Oh, but you sold it so well. I mean, your facial expression, and it's just that whole overly emotive, and the blinking at just the right moment in the thing. It was, and
the shoulders going back and forth. The whole.
I think we
so
did
much
it
going on,
I
right?
think we did it like in a few takes too. I think I was in and out of there really quickly, and I'm wearing this dress. And I remember the ladies dressing me in the costume department, and they're putting on this dress, and they said, Olivia de Havilland wore this dress
really
in Robin Hood, and in
You're
1938.
kidding me.
With
Wow.
she was the opposite. Who?
So Adventures of Robin Hood 38 was Errol Flynn.
Yes, it was Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland, and so
Yeah.
I'm wearing her dress, and I'm just feeling like a princess. So yes, I put on that dress, and the line just came out of my mouth, and it was perfect.
I have to tell you, I am through friends of friends. I am friends with Olivia de Havilland, and
No.
she's 100 years old in Paris, and I have
No.
to tell her this story that
You must. Oh, that is
I will.
just
That you
amazing.
wore. I talked to somebody who's just your size. She fits in your dress.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Oh,
That's
and I
absolutely
love
incredible.
her. I love knowing that she's there and she's your friend. Oh, that's special.
That's amazing.
She
If
is
you
a
forgive me, a super quick tangent for my fellow airplane nerds out there. People often wonder, the actress Olivia de Havilland, if she's any relation to Geoffrey de Havilland, who's a British aircraft designer and builds her designed and built in the 30s and 40s, my favorite airplanes of all time to fly, the antique biplanes that I love. And yes, they actually are, I think, fairly distant cousins, but they are related. So there's another little bit of de Havilland trivia, if anyone wonders.
full circle. There we go.
Full circle, yes, from...
Wow.
But that's amazing about that dress. That blows my mind. We had no idea.
Wow, that is. Now we have to go back and look at Robin Hood. So this is.
Yeah.
How did
Exactly.
it feel wearing that? I mean, it must have been really just inspiring.
It had been worn by many actresses since, I guess, because it's all smelly and it was not comfortable and it was all stitched together and felt like there was burlap to puff out certain areas underneath. No, it was not comfortable.
Showbiz.
People weren't comfortable in those days. They wore things just to make their waists look like 25 inches. So yeah, it wasn't. I couldn't wait to get it off.
Wow,
That's amazing.
well,
Yeah.
you did a good job while you were in it.
Thank you.
So, tell us about the filming. There you are you're in this movie within a movie, and it must have been difficult with calling action and cut while somebody else is yelling action and cut. That must have been just kind of.
I know. It was a little confusing, and I don't even remember so much of it because it was so long ago. And honestly, when you called me, I thought, oh my God, I haven't even thought about that for a million years. And I don't even think my kids had seen that movie or recognized me. And I sent them these 2 clips that you sent me, Jim. And I actually sent those 2 clips around to some of my friends, and they just couldn't believe it. And my mom writes back, she goes, oh my gosh, those lips. She was looking at my lips. They look just like hers. And I got a real kick out of that. So thank you for sending
Oh,
those,
good. Well, I'm glad if we could bring some joy to the Petersen family. I'm very happy.
Absolutely.
because you have done the same with us. My children grew up watching The Rocketeer, and my daughter would say that line. She'd do it both ways, the way we do it in this minute and in the next minute. So it was a key point. But it's just a lot of fun watching this whole scene. I guess, and you get to act opposite Timothy Dalton, who looked like he was feeding you a good emotions there.
Yeah, Mr. McDreamy.
Yeah. And at the time, he was Mr. James Bond. So
that's right.
Oh, that's right. He was.
I think
he would just finish doing James Bond.
Yeah.
And that, speaking of Dalton, after you deliver the first take of that line, we hear the music playback, and of course, it goes, grinds to a halt. Exactly at the same speed and same rhythm as the expression on his face just falls. And that is just this brilliant little nuance. It's like the sound that you hear is what you'd imagine hearing when you watch his expression do that, except you're really hearing it.
I know. Well,
and
that's
it
good.
makes the payoff in the next minute.
Yeah, well, it's good editing too, and I can't remember who the editor was on that one for that movie, but I think that's a lot of good editing.
Arthur Schmidt, who did he did
Artie.
like Die Hard, said, yeah, Artie.
Yeah,
Oh, you know,
Artie.
Oh, sure.
Artie.
Sure, Artie. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Santa Barbara.
Awesome.
I think he lives in Santa Barbara.
Does he have a microphone? Do we?
Yes.
Can
you tell him we said hi?
We should have a reunion. Yes, please do.
I see him at the grocery store. I'll tell him you say hi.
Well, when you're bumping through Ralph's, just say, you know something,
Yes.
you should be on a show.
Yeah, I don't shop at Ralph's. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
Okay,
yeah,
and we just lost Ralph's as a sponsor, but that's okay.
Well, there we go.
I'm sorry.
We have no sponsors. There's nothing like
we'd have to have we'd have to have a commercial break for that. So
Right.
that never happens.
no sponsors and no adult supervision is the key to this.
It's so exciting. You were in, and you were one of the few. I think there were maybe 5 women in this entire movie, and so you were in the largest concentration. There were 3 women. There was you. There was Jennifer Connelly and Nada Depovich.
Nada Depovich.
Yeah,
she was wonderful. I wonder if I've seen her since in things.
I've tried to find her, and she's harder to find. She's harder to
Really?
find than Lisa Peterson. Yeah,
So-
if
She's popped up in some things. She was in stuff like Jerry Maguire, and
she's in a whole bunch of stuff.
she certainly has
And she was in
has
the-
a resume that goes for a while. But
She was in the other. She was in the movie just before this. That was Jennifer Connelly's. The one where she's in the store. What's that one?
oh, is that Career Opportunities?
Career Opportunities. She's in
Is that
Career
that one?
Opportunities too.
Oh,
yeah.
no kidding. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'm
so
surprised. I'm surprised you couldn't find more stuff that she was in, because I thought she was. I mean, she had good comic timing, and she had that beautiful look, but she also was funny.
Yeah,
She had
was
a
on.
little bit of character look. She had a little bit of character.
Oh,
to
yeah.
her.
She was on My So-Called Life with Claire Danes too. That was a big. That was a
okay.
big one for her. Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense.
That wasn't that long. Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, yeah,
And
Okay, we're being dating
We
ourselves.
do that
here.
a lot,
That was like 20 years ago, not that long ago.
not that long
yeah,
ago.
yeah. You do that.
Well, and in this scene too, she's I love the accent. She's got a little bit of, I don't know if that's
it's Brooklynese or-
Brooklynese to it. That boy, oh boy, is she a block of
boy.
wood? And
Yeah, they said she's sleeping with the producers.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that,
You're the producer's niece. You're the
producer's niece. Yeah.
Knees, yeah.
so
actually, there was a little bit of truth. There was a little bit of truth to that.
well, why don't you tell us about that, Lisa? There's a charming segue.
How did you get
Okay.
in this role?
Oh, well, I had to sleep with the director for crying
my
out loud. I'm
goodness.
just telling you I had to sleep with the director. And then finally he said, okay, I'll give you this one line, and then you got to clam up and get lost. And so I said, okay.
Wow.
Oh, it all comes
That's how
out
I
here.
got it. Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
hear that on the other podcasts.
No,
That's for
there you
sure.
are. Front and center.
So maybe
Yeah,
you
Jim-
should elaborate just a little bit more, Lisa. So as
well,
people
I will-
are clinging to this.
Maybe, yeah. I was married to Joe Johnston at the time, and it's interesting because my career kind of it's kind of folded right after we got married. So we hadn't been married very long. This was we'd been married for a little while, but we were living in San Marino, and I remember he came home one day and he just said, do you want a part in this? There's not a lot of women parts, but do you want this part? And I said, well, are you kidding? And he knew that was right for me, and so I was happy. And then I said, well, you're going to get lucky. I'm just kidding. So Right. It was kind of funny how it worked out, and it was like a running gag the whole movie.
Oh, boy.
That was like this big running gag, and I think Joe just, was happy to give me a part, but he said, that's all I can offer you. There's nothing else. And I said, I'm fine with that. And at that time, I really started thinking about doing art, and I was then phasing myself out of doing any kind of acting work. I just realized it wasn't going to be for me.
Yeah. Well, it's another type of art. You were doing the art.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to wear Olivia de Havilland's
I don't
clothes
have
while
to
you're
wear uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't have to say lines. I don't have to memorize lines. No, I mean, the acting, I think for me, I thought, I don't know if I am equipped to do this kind of thing. And I really didn't want to be in a position where, being married to Joe and him doing films, I could see that might not be a good fit. And I just decided to make a choice to not continue. And every once in a while I go, gosh, I look at somebody's role, or I think that I look back and I think wistfully from time to time. But no, I'm glad I made the career choice to change. I actually went back to school and went to design school, so I'm also an architectural interior designer.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, we've seen your artwork on, at least from the website, and it is just gorgeous. I think Hal was saying before, it's just very what was your technical term, Hal? I forget what you were.
Let's see. Well, my technical term was that I'm not smart enough to have any technical terms about art, but I'm one of those.
Sure
I know what I like, and I like what I see. But I've got to tell you, I've got that page up right now at our Artwork Archive, which we got two from.
Great.
We got two from Lisa Marie Petersen. That's PEDERSEN.com.
Yeah,
From there, you can find a link back to the Artwork Archive. So
yes,
I'm looking.
Because
go ahead.
My website is under construction, and so they bring you over to another website that I'm on. So there are just a couple different places that you can have your art. But Artwork Archive is really great. So I'm glad you found it.
So I'm looking through this now, and if you press me, I'll tell you. Well, I most of the art that hangs in my home, it tends to be sort of more traditional, sort of realistic. But there's a few things here and there that are just more about a mood or a color or something. But the one that absolutely leapt off the screen for me was Key West. The colors of the water there.
Yeah.
We honeymooned in the Caribbean many, many years ago, and get down to Florida once in a great while. Anytime I'm anywhere where I see that color water, I don't know how to describe the color. You know it when you see it in nature, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. I'm not just gushing when I tell you captured it flawlessly.
Yeah, thank you.
That's just amazing. And you look at, I'm someone to say, well, the water's kind of turquoise green, so I'll find the turquoise green crayon and scribble. And then, of course, you look at what you've got in there, and there's every color in the world.
It's a phthalo. That came right out of the tube. That's phthalo green in a blue shade, and it comes right out of the tube. And I paint my paintings, and they're done in about 10 or 15 minutes. And
You're
I don't
kidding
spend
me.
a lot of time. No, that's just how I roll with my art. If I plan it correctly and I know the colors, it has to be executed really quickly. And it's so funny when we're talking about art, because this is something I can have lots of conversations with, but I don't want to bore you. But when they were shooting the movie, the Rocketeer, we were in Santa Maria, and there was all these orange groves, and they had to film some scenes that were in orange groves, and they needed to find them. So they were just north of Santa Barbara and Santa Maria. All that is gone now. But I did a whole retrospective on orange groves, and there's so many wonderful places in Southern California that are, sadly dwindling and not there anymore because they've been developed. But those eucalyptus trees and orange groves and everything that brought people out west. And, during that time, on the side of the orange crate box, those photographs of how California come to California, and this is what, beautiful mountains and purple mountains and beautiful trees. And I just was so enamored with that whole era. And living in Pasadena, I just started painting. And my style has evolved, certainly, but that's how I started getting involved. And I remember taking so many photographs while I was supposed to be doing other stuff on the Rocketeer, I was supposed to be going to, and they were saying, coming in here, and I'd be out there with my camera taking photographs. So I guess I was destined to be an artist and not an actress because my interests were elsewhere. But all that is gone now. All that whole set and everything there that we shot, that location is now a mall or something.
Wow.
And that's kind of sad.
It was amazing when looking through your bio on the site, and you just now mentioned also the eucalyptus trees. So I lived as a kid. I was born in Northern California in the Bay Area and moved away when I was about 8 years old. But the one thing I remember more vividly than anything else are the giant eucalyptus trees down at the end of the driveway up there in Burlingame Hills. And as soon as you say eucalyptus trees, I can smell them immediately, and it takes me back.
Oh, it really takes me back. I love that.
Yeah, I was noticing you're also that picture of Santa Barbara at dusk. When I was 8 years old, I went up the coast with my mom and dad, and I can remember stopping at the Mission Santa Barbara and seeing these. I was a kid from New Jersey. I hadn't been. This was my first time in California, and I could just remember these skinny, tall trees just gently waving, and the smell of all the different flowers and things that were planted there. It was. I felt like I had landed in the Garden of Eden. It was just amazing. And when I'm looking at your paintings, that it brings me back to being 8-year-old me looking up at these palm trees and just being flabbergasted by the whole thing.
Yeah, you can look at my website. You can purchase things too.
Keep this in mind.
No pressure.
Okay.
No pressure. Artwork Archive. It's really great.
If we consider a purchase, will you come back for another episode?
I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to say another line or what. There's not much I can offer you guys.
No, this has already been amazing.
No, this is stunning. Yeah. And actually, we do have we will need you to come back for another minute tomorrow when we talk about the better reading of this line. So why don't we pause here for a little bit, and we'll come back for Thursday's episode. And for folks listening in, you can join us on social media at a bunch of different places. You can go to Twitter at Rocketeer Minute. You can go to the Facebook site at the Rocketeers Bulldog Cafe, and also a great big site, rocketeerminute.com, where you can catch up on these things. And if you go there, I'm sure on today's episode you can probably find a link to Lisa's artwork. We're ready for purchase, ready to
I'm kidding about that, but yeah.
Well,
go there.
I think people are going to find out through this site, and so we can go check that out. But really, they are very evocative, and I enjoy this art. It's a beautiful thing. So let's pick this up tomorrow, and we will see you all later on the Rocketeer Minute. So until next time, over and out.
Thank you.
Go get him, kid.